What's up, guys? I was pushing my transmitter to its absolute limits, testing it out. Let me just shut this light off so we can see better. So, I had it sitting in a little bucket of water. That's not necessary for regular operation. That's just to keep it cool, because I'm pushing it at really high power levels. I'm seeing what it could truly do. And this bulb is like vibrating in my hand. It's getting off a lot of heat. It's consuming 36 volts at less than 1 amp. Consuming less than 40 watts. This supply can go to 60 volts, but the diodes on there will blow after 40 volts, so I'm not going to crank it past 40 volts. This is really pushing it, the circuit, on power. It's still just as impressive. It's even more impressive. Like, look at the range. Still have good wireless power. Pick up the little receiver light. The range is just incredible when it's in high power mode. Got that light lit down there. These other lights, all these. All those. And this is my schematic. That's the circuit, except I have 3 diodes of UF 4007. The resistor is 22K. Has to be a carbon film resistor. My primary is 0.8 inches long. I go by length, not by turn count. This is the exact circuit with a few differences. My L2 is 36 AWG at 4 inches long. And my L3 is 2 inches long of 18 AWG wire wound counterclockwise. So L1 and L2 are wound the same direction. L3 is wound the opposite direction. But that's the circuit. And I modified it for what I'm doing. I have an advanced version of this circuit. But this exact circuit will get you going. You want 22K resistor. 22K resistor, carbon film, has to be carbon film. You want 3 UF 4007 diodes at this part. You want a tip 35C transistor. All these components are very important. So hopefully you can see that circuit. You can ignore the turn count numbers. You can ignore that. And I'll show you mine, where you can zoom in on it. So I'll turn this light back on. I'll turn it off. I will disconnect it, and this is hard to do with one hand. Well, maybe it wasn't that hard. And I'll zoom in on it. Hopefully you can see it and everything becomes simple. Just it's zip tied to a heatsink for simplicity. This is how the transmitter looks. Hopefully you can see this. Things get a little easier. Here's the base of the transistor. The base connects to the end of the diodes. The collector goes to the top of the coil. The emitter is a direct connection for the negative on the positive on the diodes, the UF 4007, and this will also be where you energize it with with negative power. You know, when you hook it up to a battery. So I'm also getting kind of a cold, so I sound kind of weird. So you have 3 connections that come to the negative end of the diodes. you have the secondary. You can see that? See the little secondary wire there? The secondary wire comes down, transitions to a thicker wire. I believe it's 18 AWG. Comes down, terminates to the back of the UF 4007 diodes. That's the negative. And then, because we have 3 connections at the end of the diodes, we have the base connection, we have the bottom of the secondary connection, and we have the resistive connection that feeds the L1. And you can see there's a blocking diode here. This is extra. This is what is part of my modification. And I'll include what that diode is in the description. I forgot what it is. It's on the top of my head, but I can't quite remember. It'll be in the description. And this prevents it from being hooked up backwards. So this coil is 0.8 inches. 0.8 inches is a perfect divisible of 4 inches in length. It can talk to it with the wavelengths. And this L3 is wound in the opposite direction of L1 and L2. See, L1 and L2 are same direction. L3 is wound the opposite direction. And you can see some of the wire right in here. Like, I can even start to undo some of the wiring a bit. Like, you can see that. I turn it a bit. Like, you can see that's some of the L3 right there. Right in there. And the thing with this wire is the insulation is slightly thicker than the conductor itself. And what that means is when you wind nice tight coils, there's no interference, there's no capacitive effect. It's very low because the insulation is thicker than the conductor inside the wire. So there's very little capacitive interference. So yeah, this is what the transmitter looks like. It's almost one of the final designs. Hopefully, I made the circuit as clean as possible so you can see it. And it stops being power efficient after 20 volts DC. And I'm trying to correct that too. And the negative, I literally just soldered leads to it. This negative just goes, it just connects to the literally right to the emitter of the transistor, or to the positive end of the UF 4007 diodes. You can see it right there. Let me zoom in. You can see it literally just is soldered right to there. So, hope that helps a lot of people trying to replicate this. Transistor is tip 35C, because it's a high power transistor. Hopefully it'll show that. Tip 35C. I think you can kind of see it. Tip 35C. He's just screwed in there, sits in. And the size of the heatsink, I also noticed, plays a huge role. If you get the incorrect sized heatsink, the device won't perform as good with wireless power, which is very interesting. This size heatsink seems to be the best, and I'll include those dimensions too in the video description. So, and literally the positive connection has a one-way diode, so you can't hook it up backwards. And I'll demonstrate that. I'll take my fully charged battery. You can see the polarity on it, positive, negative. I'll connect it backwards. So I will connect positive to negative, and I will connect negative to positive, and it will not turn on. Nothing will happen. Before I added that upgrade, the circuit will blow up. So as you see, nothing is on. Nothing is activated. I connect it normally now. It will turn on. The circuit is now active, and we have power. Very impressive wireless power. And on this transmitter, I believe it's the extra coil right here that's doing all the work. As you see, we still get the impressive effects. Touch it to anything metal, it will light up. I'll even touch it over here. It should light up. No, if it doesn't light up at distance, you have to tune the inductance by doing this. So I will move the transmitter close to this grounded piece of PVC piping. And as you see, as I adjust it, those lights will either get brighter or dimmer. See that? Either get brighter or dimmer by adjusting. All my lights get brighter or dimmer. All those wireless lights. Just by doing this. So, I'll show the circuit again. It literally runs off at 9. It can run off the most smallest power source and it will work. It's a modified Slayer exciter circuit with a Tesla's extra coil on top for very efficient wireless power transmission. Like, that's off a 9-volt battery. Look at that. That's very impressive. I'll literally pick it up and walk away with it. Hopefully my connections don't come out. I'll pick it up slowly, move it over here. I don't think the connections came undone. Nope, it's still on. Very impressive. It's kind of burning my hand when the bulb's in my hand. It feels weird. So I'll move it again. It's the middle of the floor. Still on, very bright. Very bright. It's burning my hand, actually. And I believe it's this extra coil that's doing all the work. The high Q coil. Very high Q coil. Here's the range. That's only off a little 9-volt battery. And we'll see if we still get the wireless effects. If I touch this to even anything metal, it should still light in theory. Let's see, it lights when I touch this piece of metal. There'll be different hot spots with the energy. You just run off a battery sitting there. Touch it to this, it dimly lights. Didn't even mess with ground tuning that much. Dimly lights off you. As I bring you close, you'll light. Extreme efficiencies. Loves that. Loves that. We'll get a big fluorescent tube. We'll see what that can do. Should still light it. If the tube is back here. I don't remember where the big fluorescent tube is. Is it back here? Yes, it is. Runs the big fluorescent tube. No problem. That's a huge fluorescent tube off a little 9-volt battery. So, I had people trolling me, telling me I'm faking stuff. Nope, 2 years of hard work and dedication. Nothing's faked. I'll move this thing anywhere and fire it up. It's almost perfect. I want it to be a little more power efficient in the higher power levels. And I'd like to add variable capacitance and resistance to it. And maybe variable inductance. Those 3 things. That make me very happy. So, I mean, look at that. You can see the energy flowing through the tube. All off a little battery. It's probably drawing 5 watts from the battery. I would guess anywhere from 3 to 5 watts. It's still lit on the floor too, that's kind of cool. Maybe I can get both going. Yes, I can. And I'll put out my light so you can see that. That's pretty cool. It's not your average Slayer exciter circuit. It has much greater potential to it because of the perfect proportions and the Tesla's extra coil on top. So we'll see if we can get a third fluorescent tube going. Hold on. There's a third one here. It's right here. Don't need this on. I can be off. And this power supply annoys me. It was like 120 bucks, and it lags when you shut it on and off. There we go. Yeah, it's running off batteries. We're obviously not consuming any power. Nothing's on. We're running the thing off batteries. Off of one battery. Pretty impressive. See if I can get this lit too. Just barely ignite it. Okay, he's lit too. We now have 3 fluorescents lit. Still incredible wireless power range. Like this is breakthrough shit. Touch it to you, it should still glow. If I can get the contact correct. There it goes. Have to make more of these lights. I sold all these, they're included in the kit. The kit includes the transmitter itself, a ground plane antenna, 5 of these lights, a mini power supply to run it, and a backup transistor. And you should never operate this device over 24 volts DC. Well, you can operate it in higher powers, but you have to take precautions and put it... You either need a bigger heatsink, or you put it in a little bucket of water with barely any water in it. Like I got some big ass heat sinks over here that I'm going to be trying. It's like 3 times the size. Just got to get the correct drill and tap kits. So, those are its capabilities. It's very impressive. Incredible range. It'll even make light bulbs light up just by bringing them near it. So, check this out. This might kill one of the fluorescent tubes when I do this. I'm not sure. No, maybe not. They're actually getting brighter because it's helping with the inductance. Like I said, I want some way to tune the inductance. I can leave that there. Fluorescent tubes get oh shit, slightly dimmer. See, I had a feeling that would happen. Maybe we can get it back. Okay, we're back. We have all that. Hold on, I just mushed my light. Still works. It's tough filming stuff one-handed when you're sick. Anyway, I think it's fixed. So all that off a little 9-volt. We still got wireless. And they say wireless power isn't possible through long distance. That's completely incorrect. When you send power, wireless power the correct way, you're not truly sending wireless power. You're sending power through the earth in a standing wave fashion. So don't believe all the propaganda that says you can't do it. You absolutely can do it. Most efficient way to send power is without wires. See if I can move this a bit. This video might be 30 minutes because I'm covering a lot of subjects. So, and just look at how long I can run it off the battery. You notice as I touch the battery, it messes with things. I'll disconnect. It all goes out. pitch dark. And I was making a lot of light from a little 9-volt. Look it back up. We're back. There we go. That did not take much to do either. We're back. All that wireless power. And the way you go about grounding your receivers, if they all have separate grounds, you will get a lot more power out than in. I'm currently struggling with that. At this point right here, this extraction point, depending on time of day and tuning, I can get this output to be slightly higher than the input of the device. So I'm going to have to keep working on that. I want this thing to be run off batteries. I want to improve the efficiency of the circuitry even more. I think for that I'd have to go to much finer wire, but that's going to be really difficult to wind by hand. So yeah, I'll pick it up again and move it. And I'm mad, I kind of mushed this. These are just 4 diodes in an up-down configuration. They're 1N4148, and they just connect to an LED light. So, I'm going to pick this up. Let's take you away. So that's cool. I'm going to have to pick them up and move them. I'll disconnect them and move it. No, I can't see that good because everything is out. That's the battery that was running it. 9-volt, 280 milliamp hours. The circuit is extremely efficient at low powers. So, I'll move it back up here. It's back up here. I'll turn the light on. It's about time I did a long video. People tell me I'm hiding stuff under my desk. No, there's nothing hidden under the desk. Nothing at all. I take apart old radio transmitters and mess with them. All sorts of stuff. There's nothing hidden around the room. That top shelf is empty because that's where I put the kits when I'm building and selling them. I just line them up on the top shelf. Just bags of components. Drill and tap kit. Screw kit. Dremel kit. Workout shit. Random junk in here. More random stuff. The pipe couplings, I should show that. Oh, if I can get it open. These are just 1-inch diameter PVC pipe couplings. You can see that. 1-inch PVC pipe coupling. Here we go, I got one. So, literally I took this wire, just 18 AWG, and I wound it on this so you can clearly see it. You can clearly see that, and it goes this way, 2 inches, and I'll measure that. Here's the circuitry again. Hopefully no one's confused on that. This is just a little quick connect so I can switch out the resistor if I want. I don't even need the quick connect here, it's just for convenience. Hopefully you can see where the bottom of the secondary transitions to a thicker connection and connects to the back of the UF 4007 diodes. So, here's all the components I'm messing with. I have a whole box of components. These are special diodes. I got them like 1,000 off eBay for 20 bucks. 1N4148. Little connectors. I also partnered with an electronics company so I can get exotic components that aren't available to the public shipped to me, because I made a special account with them. I'm not going to tell you who it is because they asked me not to, but I can get interesting components from them, like avalanche diodes, gun diodes, that sort of thing. Here it is again, completely portable. It's extremely simple. They can be mass produced when you understand how to build them correctly. That's just a blocking diode right there. I'm gonna find the name of that in this video. I have a package of them. They can't be that far. They were, no, I think these are them. Yeah, they're 1N5822s, 40 volt 3 amp switching diodes. That's what those are. So that is what's here for reverse polarity protection on the circuit. And it has two features: reverse polarity protection, and it prevents you from detuning the L1 from the extra length of wire. So I'll show the circuit again. That's almost my exact circuit again. You can ignore the numbers here. Ignore that. That's focus on just the circuit here. That's what I have. 22K carbon film resistor. I have 3 UF 4007 diodes. Tip 35C transistor. I'll turn it on again. And yeah, I hope that helps. More to come. See that? Look how efficient that is. It's actually interfering with my phone a little. Stay tuned.